Hello, I'm Eric Martin, and I'd like to tell you about the Mental Health and Addiction Certification Board of Oregon and our new certification for QMHAs and QMHPs. This 10-minute video will answer an array of questions that you may have, such as why are we certifying QMHAs and QMHPs? Who is MHACBO? How do I use the online certification software? And other frequently asked questions. You may be wondering why they want QMHAs and QMHPs to be certified. That's actually a really good question. Unlicensed QMHAs and QMHPs are the last workers in our modern healthcare system that are unlicensed and uncertified by anybody. All other workers inside of healthcare and behavioral healthcare are certified and licensed. Virtually all behavioral health workers are certified or licensed by a regulatory board other than unlicensed QMHAs and QMHPs. Secondly, the Oregon Senate Healthcare Committee wants all behavioral health workers to be licensed or certified in order to ensure public safety. Professionals who violate client rights can potentially lose their certification. This will prevent individuals who have violated client rights from simply seeking employment at another agency where their offenses are unknown. Lastly, it's pretty much an eventuality that all behavioral health care workers will need to be licensed or certified in order to bill Oregon Health Plan, just like any other healthcare provider. MHACBO, the Mental Health and Addiction Certification Board of Oregon, began with ACBO, the Addiction Counselor Certification Board of Oregon. ACBO has been certifying addiction workers since 1977 for the past 41 years, and we have about 7,000 members. ACBO has reconstituted its board with members of AOCMHP, the Association of Oregon Community Mental Health Programs, to form a new organization called MHACBO, the Mental Health and Addiction Certification Board of Oregon. MHACBO and AOCMHP have been working diligently over the past year. We've developed a unified behavioral health code of conduct, standards and policies for certification, competencies, certification software through CertiMe, and professional psychometric exams. Much of this has occurred through the volunteer efforts of MHACBO and AOCMHP members. MHACBO has partnered with hundreds of stakeholders, including county mental health directors and administrators, the Oregon Health Authority, the Oregon Council for Behavioral Health, Oregon CCO staff and directors, Senate Healthcare Committee leadership, Comprehensive Exam Services, and CertiMe. CertiMe is our new online certification software system. When you begin the certification process in CertiMe, you'll notice that the screen is split down the middle. On the left side of the screen, you'll see the certification for which you are applying. On the right side of the screen, you'll see all of the steps. At first glance, CertiMe may look a little strange because the screen is split down the middle, with the certification steps on the right side of the screen and the certification you're applying for on the left side. It's split down the middle because this software is more user-friendly on mobile devices. As you can see, I'm applying for Grandparenting certification as a QMHA. There are 11 steps on the right side of the screen that I need to complete in order to obtain the QMHA certification. Let's start with the very first step called registration page. When I click on that button, I can start the registration process and it will open a form and I just simply need to fill it out. I fill out this form with my name and address and other contact information, including where I work. It's important to note that I have to write down my real name as it appears on my driver's license. The next step is uploading a copy of my driver's license. When I click the button, a box opens up that allows me to drag a copy of my driver's license into the field and upload it into Certimi. So I have to have a copy of my driver's license on my computer, or alternatively, I can just simply take a picture of it with my phone. The really cool thing about Certimi is that I can actually do most of the steps on my phone. I can log on to Certimi with my cell phone, snap a picture of my driver's license, and upload it in a matter of seconds. That's way better than making a photocopy of my ID and then taking that and then scanning it and then uploading it to a computer and then uploading it to Certimi. Now, let's discuss the general requirements for QMHA and QMHP grandparented certification and frequently asked questions. There are two pathways into grandparented certification for QMHA. The first is for those with a bachelor's degree, and the second is for those who do not possess a baccalaureate degree. QMHAs with a bachelor's degree need to document 1,000 clinical experience hours. That's equivalent to about 6 months of full-time work. Those hours need to be verified by a qualified supervisor. QMHAs without a bachelor's degree need to document 4,000 clinical experience hours, which is equal to 2 years of full-time work. Those hours need to be verified by a qualified clinical supervisor. An individual who meets the qualification as a clinical supervisor in state-approved mental health can verify your experience hours. They do not necessarily need to have been your direct supervisor for all of those hours. They simply need to verify that the hours occurred. Let's talk about some of the documents that you'll need to upload into Certimi. You'll need a letter verifying that you were qualified as a QMHA. That letter can be from Oregon Health Authority, from the County Mental Health Authority, or a state-approved mental health program that initially qualified you. When seeking out documentation of your prior qualification as a QMHA, don't call Oregon Health Authority. Start by talking to the program where you were qualified as a QMHA. Most likely they will have documentation of your status. Oregon Health Authority qualifies a small number of people under certain special circumstances. More likely, your documentation is in your personnel file at the agency that qualified you as a QMHA. You'll need to upload a copy of your ID, which we previously discussed. You also need to upload a copy of your transcript. We do not need to receive an official transcript, just a copy, because your official transcript was previously primary source verified by your employer. We also need a copy of all of your continuing education. That's certificates from like workshops, conferences, online education like Relias. We need for you to count all of that up and upload that to Certimi. We know that it's a nightmare for you to add up all of your continuing education, but we desperately need this data. We need to be able to go to the legislature and say that behavioral health workers have a ton of education and training above and beyond college coursework, and they need higher wages. Now, let's discuss grandfathering for QMHPs. If you're registered with a licensing board as an intern or a licensee, you do not need to be certified by MHACBO. MHACBO's certification is for unlicensed QMHAs and QMHPs that are not actively registered with any licensing board. Previously qualified QMHPs who possess a graduate degree in behavioral health or a degree in nursing or occupational therapy can apply to be grandparented into QMHP certification. Mental health interns who have not yet completed their graduate studies and others who have been varianced into QMHP must apply for QMHA certification through MHACBO. Mental health interns and variance QMHPs who are registered with MHACBO as QMHA can still operate at their agency in their QMHP status. That QMHP variance is given to the agency and does not follow an individual from one agency to another. Previously qualified QMHPs with a graduate degree in behavioral health or nursing or occupational therapy will need to document 4,000 clinical experience hours. Similar to the procedures with QMHA, any qualified supervisor can sign off on those hours, simply attesting that they occurred, not that they personally supervised all of those hours. We've answered most of the FAQs, but let's do a quick recap. Do I need an official transcript? For those who are grandparenting, the answer is no. Your transcript was previously primary source verified by your employer. We just need a copy. What is a qualified mental health supervisor? A qualified mental health supervisor is a QMHP with 2 years of postgraduate experience who currently or has previously worked as a clinical supervisor at a state-approved mental health agency. What if the supervisor who supervised me for my experience hours is no longer around? Any qualified supervisor who can attest to your clinical hours can verify your work through Certimi. Do you need individual certificates for my trainings, or will a printout record from Relias or my agency suffice? The answer is yes, a printout from Relias or your agency will suffice. And lastly, the number one question that we receive: if I'm working on getting licensed or I'm currently licensed, do I need to be registered with MHACBO? The answer is no. MHACBO certification for QMHAs and QMHPs is only for unlicensed workers. If you are a CSWA, an LPC, or LMFT intern, you are already registered with your licensing board, and you do not need to be registered with MHACBO. Thanks for checking out this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 503-231-8164. You can also email us with questions at mhacbo@mhacbo.org, or you can live chat with us on our website. Just go to mhacbo.org.